Good morning, everyone. Morning. Okay, in front of you, you see a picture from a series. It's a new series, actually. Probably you've seen it. It's called The Last of Us. Okay, and it's taken from a game, a popular game about zombies. Yeah, so if you like zombies, try to watch these movies. It's cool enough. Okay. However, the question will be, how can a game be that popular? How can a game have a lot of players addicted to it and make it very popular and then it turns into a movie? Okay, so today, that's what we're going to dig deeper. We're going to look at mechanisms, elements in games that we can take, and hopefully we can adopt it into our lessons, and therefore our lessons can be as addictive as a game. So here it is, Gamify the class by me. You don't have to be confused with my name, yeah? I know it's mouthful to say, just call me Mr. Bagas, that's enough. Okay, so talking about zombies, I would like to start by us imagining that we are in a zombie situation. Okay, this is our city, this city, yeah, Jakarta, divided into 5 parts, and all of the parts are infested by zombies. So there will be 5 parts in my presentation, and each time we have tackled one session, we can imagine that we have got rid of one part of the city of zombies. Okay, we'll see. Okay, and later there will be badges that I'm going to give. There are 2 of them. One of them is a bravery badge. That's when you're brave enough to answer my questions. I'm going to give you something. And actually, there's also another bit of something from the committee, you'll see, yeah? And the second one will be the curiosity badge. That's for when I give the floor for you asking questions. If you're brave enough to ask your question, I'm going to give you that badge. Okay? Okay, so let's get started. Before we start, I would like to ask. This is already the first batch that I'm going to give. Yeah, the first batch will be someone who can answer these questions. In your opinion, there are 2 things, game-based learning and also gamifications. Gamification is what we're going to talk about right now, but let's see the difference first. What is the difference between game-based learning and gamifications? Is there anyone who would like to try answering these questions? Anyone? For the first batch?
Ada yang ingin bertanya, coba. Ada hadiahnya.
There will be
ayo, ada hadiahnya.
Yeah.
Ayo. Ada iming-imingnya ya, rewardnya ya. Yuk, kalau ingin menjawab, yuk. Coba-coba aja.
It's barely 3 minutes since I talk and I already gave presents. So how generous I am, yeah? So, anyone would like to try? Yes?
Miss Yani, oke. Ya.
There will be microphone.
Miss, sorry, Mister, yang ini dulu. Boleh.
Oh, oke.
Gimana? Terserah sih,
boleh.
Mister. Sorry ya, Miss Yani.
I didn't see which one is first, so. Okay.
Yeah. Kalau aku ngomongnya bahasa Indonesia nggak apa-apa ya?
Yes.
Soalnya takutnya kagok. Saya tebak ya, kalau misalnya game-based learning itu modelnya kalau misalkan kayak kita pernah buka abc.com, nah itu modelnya game-based learning, kita belajar tapi melalui game. Tapi kalau gamification ini kita membawakan pelajaran buat anak-anak, tapi di dalamnya itu kita memasukkan sesuatu yang biasanya di gamenya ada, misalnya level 1 kita sudah achieve ya, dan gamification ini sebenarnya bisa dipakai bukan di pendidikan aja, tapi di banyak manajemen, contohnya Traveloka gitu ya, itu juga termasuk gamification. Kita bisa lihat di sana ada bandage-nya, kalau misalkan kita tiernya platinum terus atau gold atau apa, nah itu masuk gamification juga.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yes, a very nice answers. Yeah, so 2 people? Yeah, okay. Masih boleh ternyata. Ya, saya juga. Kayaknya hadiahnya banyak dari HO, jadi tenang aja ya.
Ini maksudnya pertanyaannya ya?
Iya.
Apa namanya? Perbedaannya.
Perbedaannya,
Kan,
ya.
perbedaan.
Difference.
Game. Telat, delay ininya. Game based learning. Jadi pembelajaran yang berdasarkan secara harfiah ya, berdasarkan menggunakan game sebagai metode belajarnya. Sementara kalau gamification kayaknya membuat seluruh metode menjadi sebuah game. Jadi membuat semua itu jadi sebuah permainan gitu kalau menurut saya. Gitu. Terima kasih.
Thank you very much ya. Ini mungkin buat yang di belakang tadi ya. Okay, yes, the two answers are perfectly correct. Yeah. So what we're talking about is not game-based learning, because game-based learning is probably something that you've tried before in your class. You actually play a game. Okay, you actually play a game just to deliver the lesson. But gamification can be just as normal teaching. Yeah, there's no game. It can be in a session. It can be that there's no game, but what we do is we are taking the game mechanics and we're trying to insert it into the lesson. Okay, I heard Traveloka, but I'm going to show you my Gojek page. Yeah, this is an example of gamification. It's not only actually. It's quite rare being implemented in lessons, but it's very, very common when you see it in other aspects. Like, for example, marketing. Yeah? So that people will want to order more and more. They will give you this kind of thing. If you order more, you get more XP, experience point. And the more point you get, the higher price you're going to get. You also have some kind of a goal. Do you want to be just a boss, or you want to be more, juragan, anak sultan, and so on? Yeah, that's actually what gamification is. And I've been implementing this for about 4 years already. And at this moment, I'm going to show you that there are at least 5 parts that we can try, 5 mechanics, 5 elements that we can put inside our lesson. The first one is role playing. Okay, role playing. For example, if you're done with a game, or maybe you're done with watching a movie, or maybe you're done reading a book, and this is how you look like once you're done with that. You feel like you're the character. You absorb the personality of the character because you've been so into it that you think you are that person, you are that character. So that's what we want to achieve by doing this role playing in our class. So first, the goal of role-playing is to make sure the students get immersed into the lesson, okay? And second, sometimes it can also help us by giving a context, okay? Here's an example. What I do in my class, this is in my class 2 years ago. I set my class to be some kind of a spaceship. All the students are astronauts, and they are going to travel from one planet to another. I'm teaching math, so the first lesson is about algebra. So I name it as planet algebra. That's what role-playing is. We have to make a play pretend that they are traveling from one planet to another, and we really make everything to be related to this theme. Okay, so by the time I'm teaching, I will always use this term. I never say, okay, right now we're going to move on to the next lesson. No, I'm going to say, we're going to move to the next planet. Okay, in this planet algebra, we're going to learn about this. Okay, and later there will be also elements where they collect points, but the points is named as stars. Okay, because I want to keep the theme alive. And this is what I do this year. The theme of my class, of my math class, is about pirates. And therefore, the name is Fraction Island, Algebra Island, and so on and so on. Also, everything that we do in our class is also related to this. For example, yeah, you've seen that the name of the lesson is Speed Island, for example, but I also put them into groups, and I don't call them group 1, group 2, group 3. I call them ship 1, ship 2, ship 3, and so on. I keep using, I will try to, I try to make it constant, make it consistent, by keep using the same term, okay? Keep using the word ship 1, ship 2, ship 3. So, therefore, they will feel that they are real pirates, okay? And also, when they're collecting points in my lessons, I call them coins. Yeah, not points, but coins with C. Because they're pirates, they're collecting treasure, basically, so they collect gold coins. So that's what it's about, okay? When we're talking about role-playing, even though it might sound kind of like not really important, but it is actually the first step for us to get them immersed into the lesson. Okay, we have to play pretend. So let's start. Let's try. Take out your phone. Yeah, you can use your phone. Yeah, try this. This is a Padlet. It's a link to Padlet. Boleh di ini yang you can scan it, or you can choose type that bit.ly/roleplay-gamifications. Okay, let's practice how we can use our imaginations. Okay, I would like you to share your ideas regarding your lessons. It can be something general, like math lesson or science lesson, English lesson, PE lesson, or it can be something specific. Oh, okay. Ininya dulu, apa namanya? Quote-nya dulu, quote-nya. Ya, tar dulu. Nah, oke ya. Let's share our ideas. Be it you're a teacher of math or English or social studies, try to imagine what kind of theme or topic that you want to relate or you want to use when you want to play pretend in your class. Okay. Yeah, there's an example in there. For example, I wrote that my name, I teach math and I use the theme of pirates, misalnya. Okay, ya. Okay, let's just share our ideas first. Let's see what are your imaginations in here. Okay, mungkin boleh. I think everyone has scanned it, ya. So. Okay. Oh, okay. I use the theme of Hogwarts houses. Nice. Okay. Do notice that this link is always on? I mean, if you are stuck with an idea later at home, at school, just go to this link again and steal some of your friends' idea. Okay, it's free for all. Yeah, no limitations. Just say thank you maybe in the comment. Okay, so we have the theme of Hogwarts houses, so they're probably imagining themselves to be wizards, yeah? Okay. Okay. Okay, there's an idea of playing as detectives. Sweet witch, okay. Okay, the theme of continents, okay. Oh yeah, there's this point that is actually quite interesting. Yeah, our kindergarten is full of games, I know, but the thing is, gradually, the higher we are, the less game we have. Therefore, the less fun they have, and that's a problem, I think, because there is one point at those level that students starts to lose their interest in lessons. So that's why, if you start to wonder whether gamifications will work for any levels, Well, I say it can. It doesn't have to be only for primary or kindergarten, but it can also work for high field. Because who doesn't love game, right? Everyone like games. Even when you don't like games, you open your Gojek application and suddenly you are into games accidentally because you start to get pushed to collect more coins, to collect more XP. Okay, so many, yeah? Okay, thank you. You can add more and more later on. Let's just continue first with the presentations. From current side. Hilang. Okay. Iklan dulu, iklan. So what I'm about to show you is that besides just taking random theme, we can also choose theme that actually give context to the lesson to support what you want to teach. Yeah. For example, I saw one saying, I teach SS and I would like to talk about continents. Therefore, you can use this pirate theme and make it as if those students are pirates or sailors that go from one continent to another to get more knowledge about the cultures. Okay. Maybe you can dub it as not really just learning about their cultures, but more like they're trying to colonize them, for example. Yeah, let's say they are sailors in the past. They want to colonize new island, new continents. Maybe they want to get some treasure from each continent, and the only way to get those treasure is to learn the culture of each continent. Okay, you can always relate it. Another thing is that if you are masih belum ya? Oh, udah. Nah, another examples will be if we are teaching chemistry, for example. We can use that Hogwarts theme. We can imagine that the chemical solutions are potions that we can combine together. Or when you're learning about astronomy, you can pretend that the students are astronauts going from one planet to another. When you are learning history, okay, this is probably one of the ideas that I would like to implement if I teach SS. We can pretend that they are time travelers. They go back in time, they meet certain historical figures, they give opinions on what they need to do to solve certain problems. Okay. So that way, students are not just learning, they are actually in the lesson. Okay? So first session, any questions about this? There's this badge thingy, so if you want to ask something, I'm going to give you a badge. But I don't think there will be, oh yeah, thank you very much, yes.
Besar mau tanya, bahasa Indonesia aja nggak apa-apa ya?
Iya, nggak apa-apa.
Bagaimana caranya menjaga, karena biasanya kalau dibikin game seperti itu, ada anak-anak yang suka, ada anak-anak yang nggak suka dengan tim kelompoknya. Nah, bagaimana caranya untuk regulasi anak-anak tersebut, jangan sampai seperti itu. Karena ada beberapa yang mau dibilang seperti apapun, ya tetap aku nggak mau sama dia, bilangnya gitu kan. Dan itu bisa ngancurin kadang-kadang mood kelas. Nah itu kayak gimana ya? Thank you.
Okay, well, that's also an interesting question that even I, from until now, I'm still figuring out. So I think the best thing that we can do will be to always change the group let's say each term, or maybe each lesson, each chapter gitu ya, so that they experience different people, they can learn how to interact with different students, different friends. In my experience, I once tried a group that I formed by myself, and I observe how they work, and I see the ups and downs. And on the next term, I give them a chance. I group them still according to me, but this time I try to group it, boys by boys, girls by girls. Okay. Usually when we group them, we will see. We'll try to make it so that one group is girls and boys. We try to assimilate different kind of people. But once I tried, what if we don't do that? What if we can group them into their their circle of friends? Okay, you know, some students like to play only with certain students. Why don't we just follow that? So that's what I do, and I don't see much difference actually. It's not that because they're only playing, they're only working with their close friend, and then they became less focused. No, I can see that they still work the same way as when I mix them together. So I think if some students would like to just work with a certain person, I say, why don't we try to give them that chance? Maybe it works. Maybe with that way, they focus better, they learn better, instead of being forced with someone that they don't like. I know that we should not always follow what the student wants. I know that we should sometimes have to make them learn to mingle with the others. But there are also times that maybe not mingling them will be the best. Yeah? Okay, so, yeah. Can you please give, not this one, it's different. This is the, udah ya? Oh ya, benar. Oke, sama. Oke. Kirain beda. Oke. Okay. So, the first part about role playing is done. So we have got rid of the zombies in our first area. Why Jakarta Timur? Well, Kinderfield, Grand Sawit is from Jakarta Timur, so I have to protect my own house first, yeah? Okay, next. Okay, the second element that we're going to talk about is freedom. In games, freedom is everything. In games, you can choose who you want to be. In games, you can choose where and how you want to go. You can choose what you want to use. You can choose what goal you want to achieve. There are a lot of freedom in games. So, in class, here's one of the examples. Yeah, in games, we can let people choose the difficulty of the game. So, in the class, we can also do that. We can give them freedom to choose the difficulty of the lesson or the practice that they do. And this one is actually taken from one of the games that is quite ruining my teenage years. This is a game from a game Skyrim, if you know. I used to play this like probably 12 hours a day. And yes, a very dark moment in my life. And that's not because of no reason. The reason is that very high degree of freedom. You can choose how you look. You can choose what kind of weapon you want to use. And you can also choose, whenever you get a level point, you can choose what you want to upgrade. If you are someone who would like to play, like attacking enemies using only magic, then you can always just upgrade your magic part. If you're someone who like to do some bashing, you can upgrade your attack point. Okay, and that's very high degree of freedom. So, in the school, in the lesson, this freedom is actually related to differentiated instruction. Another batch. So, who would like to give their opinion or answer on what is a differentiated instruction? Anybody knows what? Okay, so in the front. Yeah.
Differentiated instructions is actually, I had this seminar as well. It's how we differentiated the way that the students learn. They're dependent on their independence and also their ability in learning. So we give them the opportunity to learn based on where they are at the grasping of the learning at the time.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. It's very comprehensive answer. Yes, differentiated instruction, first coined by Carol M. Tomlinson. It's a technique that really differentiates how we deliver our lesson, because we acknowledge that our students are not uniform. They are different people with different ways of learning, with different background, background of knowledge. So therefore, we try to differentiate what we can give them. For example, we can differentiate the source of information. Some students would better learn using videos. Some best learn when they are reading books. Some best learn when they listen to the teacher. So since we have different kinds of ways of learning, we give them the freedom. We give them the options, and they can choose how they want to take the information. Another thing will be various difficulties. Just like in game we have easy, medium, and hard level. Well, I believe that in our class, we should give them this kind of freedoms too. Okay, so the students that are having difficulties, they can at least feel that they have a feeling of achievement, because they can just choose the easy one, and they will feel that, okay, they have accomplished something. Now, in contrast, not really in contrast, but related to what Miss Yusti said before about how students, some students have 60% of capacity and the other have 80% of capacity. This might be a good way to cater that. The students with 60% of ability can just choose the easy levels, while the ones with 90% ability can try to use the more challenging options. Now, the problem is sometimes students that has higher capacity of thinking sometimes are just too lazy to try the more challenging one. And I think that's still okay. Okay, I think even though they don't want to choose the more challenging questions, they just want to do the easy one, it's still possible, because we should make the easy level to be somewhat still challenging. Okay, kind of like this. If we're learning fractions, and in learning fractions, we start by, let's say, learning additions of fraction with the same denominator, ya, penyebutnya sama, which is the easy one, right? So the easy one will be using numbers that are easy, but the more challenging one can go with numbers like in tens or hundreds number. That will be the more challenging one. But even if that students with high learning capacity choose the lower one, it's still good enough for them, because the learning goal is still about additions of fractions. Okay, it's not that because they choose the lower one, then they miss the learning goal. No, we still make so that the learning goal is still related, even though it's easier. Okay, so they don't really lose anything. Another thing will be various types of assessments. Some students just cannot do well in paper-based tests. But somehow, over the last 20, 30 years of educations, very small degree of school would like to give opportunities for students to take different kind of assessment. Some students best give their expressions of learning in a different shape, maybe in a presentation, maybe in making a certain product, maybe in making a song, a poetry, and a drawing, but we always narrow it down to paper-based tests. And that's what I believe we should change. Okay? Even though I know, and this is something big, yeah, this is something that us as a teacher cannot just do right away, because it's going to clash with the school policy and so on. But I will just want to give you the insight of what possibilities we can have. Tomlinson said it like this in one of her books. Braille-based tests is given to blind students, because of course we know they cannot read words. So why don't we give students who are unable to actually take paper-based tests something that can cater their needs. For someone who is, I know I have a student who is always nervous whenever it's paper-based test because she will be like always constantly keeping the time, looking at the time. Wah, 10 menit lagi, 20 menit lagi. And then they are going to be very nervous. Not let alone that the condition of very silent class is really actually making her more nervous. So it doesn't really help because whenever we do practice, she can do it well. She knows how to do it. But when it's a test, nervousness gets the best of her. So if we can just give her different kind of assessment, which also shows how she can do it well, but in a way that she is more comfortable with, I think her real capability can be shown. Yeah. So a little bit of differentiation of learning. The way to differentiate are content, process, and product. Yeah. Content means the source of the information, the one that I mentioned before. The process will be the way the way the students process the information, such as practice, such as activities. Okay, and product will be basically the assessment, the ending product. The word is product, not test, not assessment, because it doesn't always have to be in the form of real tests. It can be just in different form. It can be in the form of anything that a product or a tangible thing that they can really make. It's possible. And we differentiate based on readiness, whether they have enough background knowledge or not. Interest, because as I said before, some people are more interested in learning using method A, the other are more in method B. And learning style, okay, learning style. Some people are more auditory, some people are more visual. Okay? If you always give them videos in the beginning of the lessons to teach something, the visual ones are going to be always good at it, but the other ones are not going to be as good. Even though maybe they have the same level of capacity. Okay, this is the example of what I do. This is the Google Classroom that I use in my class. This is only two options. Either they can read from the books. Sorry, I'll make it bigger. Pencet semua. Wait. Nah. They can. There are two options for the source of knowledge. They can either read the books. I give them the pages that they need to see, or they can just open the video that I have made. I made it in YouTube so they can access it anytime. Okay. It's best to be done when we were in a pandemic, because students at home, they really have a great degree of options. Okay. Back then, actually, there are a few more links, but this is actually from this year when we are already in full school-based learning. So I give them just two options because in the class, there's not much of a time for them to really explore internet, basically. Yeah. Well, we can give them, let's say, the chance to bring laptop or phone, but since it's about primary level, grade 6 students, we cannot really give them the chance to do it all the time. It's going to distract them, right? So that's the options. Another options will be the difficulties, the level of difficulties. The tame challenge is basically the easy one, while the monstrous challenge is basically the hardest one. You see that it's based on the same book, but different pages, because once I see it, I know that this page until this page is easy enough, but still challenging to understand the lesson. While the monstrous one will be the hardest one. The one that I believe for the 60% capacity of students, they cannot do it at all. And we cannot force them to actually do that. Yeah? Okay, now this time, another link to screen, to take a picture of. For this, ini aja. Okay, this is going to direct you to quizzes. So I would like to try the quiz a bit. Only 4 questions. Let's see if you can implement what I have explained into the the questions. Yeah, this is an assessment basically. Yeah, so I test you. I give you test right now. Please pass. Okay. I'll give you 2 minutes, I guess. Yeah. Boleh nyontek-nyontekan nggak? Boleh deh. Ya. It's called collaboration, ya, not cheating. It's collaboration.
Silakan difoto dulu, Mister. Boleh difoto, terus nanti scan dari fotonya. Karena kalau langsung di scan nggak bisa di zoom ya.
Or you can use the link ya, bit.ly/freedom-gamifications. Okay, how is it? You pass? 4 questions? Not yet? Too difficult? I hope not. Ya. Sinyalnya nggak ada. Oke. Technical difficulties. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's okay if you still cannot access this right now. Again, the link will always be there. I'm going to keep the quizzes on until a week, basically. Yeah, because with free account, I can only open it until a week, so you can always access it later. I believe the slides can be given to them later on. Okay, you will get the slides, you will get the code. Therefore, you can access it later on. Yeah. Okay. So, any questions regarding the freedom? Yes. Boleh.
Hello, Mister.
Yes.
Can I speak in Bahasa so I can clearly state what I'm going to ask?
What is it?
Can I use Bahasa Indonesia?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Ya, mau tanya, Mister. Sebenarnya saya juga udah pernah dengar beberapa informasi tentang differentiated instruction ini dan memang sangat menarik buat secara on paper itu sangat menarik dan ketika kita lihat Mister Bagas juga kan sudah mengaplikasikannya di sekolah. Nah, pertanyaannya adalah dengan jadwal kita yang padat, assessment dan lain-lain, gimana caranya supaya teacher bisa meluangkan waktu untuk mempersiapkan berbagai assessment, karena kayak tadi kita juga sempat lihat videonya Mister bikin sendiri juga kan ya. Nah itu mungkin bisa sharing tips-tipsnya ke kita gimana sih caranya supaya kita bisa meluangkan waktu untuk melakukan semua hal di tengah padatnya assessment, di padatnya event-event. Nah itu sih kita mungkin bisa dapat insight dari Mister Bagas juga. Thank you.
Okay. Well, 2 words, plan ahead. That's the one thing that I always keep in mind. So, right now, if I have to spoil a bit, I am trying to write a book about this method. Yeah, hopefully when it's already published, you can buy it. Yeah, hopefully. But the point is, how can I put some time to do that while we have a lot of activities, a lot of events, a lot of things that we need to do? The thing is, I plan all of this not in the beginning of the term, not in the beginning of the day of teaching, no, in the beginning of school year. We have around like 2 weeks of preparation time, and I usually make use of it really well so that I can really plan all of them. I see the books, I choose all the questions that are easy, that are hard. I plan it all in that around 2 weeks of learning preparations. Then therefore, when we start the school year, everything is there already. The Google Classroom is already filled with all of those things, and I can just post them whenever it's time for them to see. Yeah, so I guess that's it. That's my suggestion, because I know in the first year I implement this 4 years ago, it is really overwhelming. Every time I prepare it in the beginning of the chapter, I almost don't have time for anything else, and it's really frustrating. And therefore, I learn from that. I try to make it even earlier than that, and it works this time. Ya. Oke, badge-nya tadi udah dapat belum badge-nya? Belum ya? Yang ini. Oh ya, itu. kasih aja itu, boleh itu. Ya. Okay, next ya. We still have. Okay, we have liberated the second one. Why Jakarta Utara? Because there are malls that I like there. No, never mind. Okay. So the third one, sense of growth. The sense of growth in here can be best explained by this. Okay. Whenever you play game, the one thing that you can see that shows how you progress through the game is one of them is experience point, XP. The more XP you have, the higher you are. And I believe it's important to keep track of students' progress of learning in one way or another. Okay, another thing will be like this. Another game from my childhood. It's a game about Sun Gokong. Ya, nggak tahu deh kalian pernah main nggak ini ya? Namanya Sayuki. Well, in this, the progress is tracked not through XP, but through a map. So we can see how far our character is. Is it in the middle of the game, in the beginning of the game, at the end of the game? And therefore, sense of growth is related to how we track our progress, our students' progress. Can be through points, XP, or through a journey completions. Okay, so how do we implement it in a class? Well, as I said before, in the beginning of my year in doing this, writing down the number of coins or points, XP that students have, it's really frustrating because a lot of students, some people get this coin and some other get this much coin. I have to keep track of all of them, kind of difficult. But luckily we have internet, yeah. This is a website that is quite good. You can use it, pointergram.com. It will look like this, okay. So students have their own account and there are badges that they can earn automatically whenever they reach certain point. This is the leaderboard, yeah, scoreboard that can keep track of their score. So what I need to do will be just like this. Whenever they're done with something, okay, you're done, everything is correct. I open my phone, I press add points, as simple as that. Yeah, in the past, I used paper-based tracking. I make tally, and it's really exhausting, so internet works a lot. Technology helps a lot, yeah? A little note on leaderboards, be careful. You see how I actually make it into each group? Because if I make it into the whole class, the problem will be students are going to start comparing. Who is highest, who is lowest. The lowest one will be probably ashamed of their achievement. The highest one can be very arrogant about it. So either you make it into groups like this, or you give them nicknames, ID names. Yeah, like you're playing games and you use your not real name. Therefore, hopefully that way, people will not know each other's name and they will be safe under that avatar. Yeah. Another thing will be in here, since I put it into groups, then there is no like who is the highest, who is lowest. The goal will be how many coins they can get in groups, not as an individual, but how many as a group. Yeah, so they compete from one group to another, not from individually. Why is it always like this? So annoying. And go. Okay, this is where I can just press add points, very simple. Yeah, add points, add points, add points. Level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's the leveling systems. For each sub-chapter, it's one level. Homework, so I know how whenever you say, today we have tomorrow you have homework, only a few of them actually do it. So this could be a good incentive for them. If they do it, they get more points. Even in my class, I give it as something optional. They can either do it or not. It's up to you. It's up to them. And the last one is puzzle. Every at the end of the chapter, I give them riddles, basically riddles in math. If they can solve it, they get more coins. If they don't do it, it's okay too. Yeah. Ish, my God. jadi spoiler ketahuan selanjutnya ya. Okay, the next one is class craft. I haven't tried this, but I have tried to arrange for what I'm going to do in the next term. Just try it. So the same, you can give them points. There are achievements, badges as well. And you can make something like this. This is a progress tracker as a journey completion. The first one will be the level 1, level 2, level 3, and so on. Students can see where they are right now, whether they are still in the beginning of the journey or at the end. Okay. But do keep in mind that learning is a journey. Learning is a journey and not a race. It doesn't matter who finished first. Everyone will finish at their own time. Okay? Okay, for this, we can just skip that. Okay, we can just skip that. Let's just go to questions for the third part. Yes. Okay, 2 people. 3 people. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Sebentar. Mikrofonnya sedang datang. Raise your hand again, please, so that we can see. Okay.
Oke, Mister, maaf mungkin pertanyaannya di bahasan sebelumnya sih ya, tentang freedom sebenarnya. Tadi kan dikatakan tentang various difficulties, di mana anak bisa memilih tingkat kesulitan yang mereka mau lah gitu. Cuman kebetulan kan saya mengajar di level kindergarten ya, di mana kalau anak kindergarten itu biasanya mereka tuh cenderung kayak lebih menunjukkan ego gitu. Misalnya, nih I can do it gitu. Nah, misalnya case-nya dia dia memilih level yang difficult, tapi ternyata dia kesulitan nih. Nah, kita nih as a teacher, sejauh mana kita bisa bantu dia gitu. Maksudnya apakah kita bantu dia menyelesaikan kesulitannya atau kita arahkan untuk karena kita menurunkan level kesulitannya dia gitu. Which one better gitu ya maksudnya.
Okay.
Thank you, itu sih.
Well, what I did, because it happened too in my class, the students try to challenge them too much. So I showed them how it is quite difficult, because when I explain the steps, they still don't understand. Okay, I will try to help them first. Okay, I'll show you the step. First, you need to do this. Nggak ngerti, Mister. Okay, once you know that they still don't understand about it, then direct them to the easiest one. Okay, without having to point out that, tuh kan, kamu kan belum bisa, ngapain lah coba yang susah. Enggak, it's discouraging ya, very discouraging. So just tell them, why don't you try this one? I think this one suits you better. Gitu. Okay, the next one. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So my question is how to convert the point that the students get to our quintal score, Mister.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I think when the students get the point, it will have a different score from other, right? Yeah, like that. Thank you, Mister.
Okay, thank you. Well, so far I've never related this points or XP to the real score. The real score is still from class tests, from mid-SA and SA and so on. So it's just for our internal use basically. For example, the more coin they get, let's say the highest group of that get the highest coins get something from me, or they get an achievement of something. Okay, so it's not related. However, now that you mention it, I believe scores or grades are not really something that we should keep using in class, in school basically. If I have my own school, probably I'm going to change that. Amin, yeah. But seriously, a lot of researchers has shown that grades are not related to their future, are not related to their success. Grades are really just a temporary things that show how far they achieve. The problem with score is like this. In grade 4, let's say someone is not really good in fractions, tadi ya fractions. When they go to grade 5, they get better. When they go to grade 6, they get even better. What will you see on their final score? It's just the average. It doesn't really show that they now can do it well, because in grade 6 they can do it well. What is shown is the average of the score, which is actually lower than what they actually have achieved right now. And even if we have to keep using score, I believe we should use the updated one, the one that they achieve right now instead of the average of what they have achieved so far. Another thing is that some students are good in fractions, but not good in algebra. Some good are in algebra, but not good in geometry. But then, again, we average the score, and voila, that's the score. It doesn't really show whether they are good at one point or not good at the other point. So I think we should have like a whole new seminar about score and points later on, yeah? But that's so far I can give you. Okay, one more questions? Tadi? Okay, in the front.
Ya, halo Mister, maaf aku nanya pakai bahasa Indonesia aja ya. Ini juga berhubungan dengan topik sebelumnya yang tentang differentiated instruction sama progresnya ini. Apa tadi namanya? Progress, pokoknya
progress
itulah.
tracking lah.
Ya, progress tracking itu. Nah, gimana caranya kita sebagai guru itu menilai hasil dari pekerjaan mereka itu. Jadi misalnya kan dengan differentiated instructions, let's say ada student A dan student B yang memiliki kapasitas sama. Tetapi student A lebih memilih yang tadi, themed questions. Tapi lalu student B memilih monstrous questions. Nah itu kan mereka memiliki progress dan struggle dan struggle dan difficulties yang berbeda-beda. Nah itu bagaimana kita menilai semua itu menjadi lebih fair bagi mereka gitu, Mister.
Okay, wait. I missed this slide, so it's going to be related, yeah. So, first of all, I don't score them, yeah. Those levels, see level 1, 2, 3, tame, wild, monstrous, and homework, all of them are just calculated as points or coins. So this is like the manual way that I use. I use stamp. Whenever they did something, I get the stamp. I give the stamp on that particular box, and that's it. It's not related to any score at all. It just shows that they've done with that. They're completed with that. There's no point 1 until 10 or 1 until 5 or 1 until 3 even. Whether they do it or they haven't finished it. That's the only options. So you see how this person do 2 challenges on the 3rd level, but only 1 challenge on the 1st level, and that's okay. That's how much they can do. And if we compare it to the other students, it's going to have different pattern. And that's it. There's no score. We don't need to score daily practice. We don't need to score daily practice. That's probably the point that we really need to remember. Yeah. For the final score, like in the class test, again, that's different. Our class test, I still use our class test, so it's really not related to this. We don't really relate them, gitu ya. Yeah. Dengan? Yeah. Okay. Nah, I've never used it as assessment. That's the problem, ya. Karena susah juga. Again, assessment is something that is strictly a policy of the school. I really cannot tamper with it. But if you ask my questions, if you ask my opinion, I think we should, just keep it the way it is. We don't need to score them. Again, if I have my own school, we don't score them. We just show whether they have achieved that part or not achieved that part. Only that. Okay. If they haven't achieved, then you'll see that the last thing is the last part of our presentation is actually about retrying. Okay, I'll explain it again later then. Yeah. Okay, so the 4th one, okay, we're done with Jakarta Barat, yeah. 2 more to go. The 4th one is achievements. Okay, achievements is talking about pencet lagi. Yeah, achievements, unlocking achievements, badges, yeah. This is from Temple Run, yeah. Every objectives are gradually increasing. That means that even though you're not good at this game, you will still get something because at least you try you try to achieve the easiest one, the easiest goal. So, oh my God. Okay, so badges or achievements are something that is achievable for students. Doesn't have to be something difficult to achieve. And the use of it is to motivate. They will want to try their best, okay? Okay, motivate. Since I don't think we have a lot of time, I'll just ask everyone in general then. Motivations like this, is it the internal or external motivations? Yeah, the answer is external motivation, okay? Because it's actually kind of like a gift. If they do something, they get something. And even though I think that a lot of people think external motivation is something less good than internal motivations, in terms of learning, even though they are motivated by something externally, in the process, they are still doing it. They are still trying to finish the lesson. So they get something though. They still get a lesson. They still get the new knowledge. Yeah? So yeah, the example is badges. So this is what I did in my class. These are the badges for completing a certain chapter. These are the badges if they do all the homeworks. Let's say in a chapter I give them 7 homeworks and they did it all. They get an achievement. This is for someone who try to challenge themselves to do all the challenges. Easy, medium, hard, they do it all. Ada yang bisa ya, and they get something. And this one is for the riddle, if they solve the riddle. This one is if they get the highest coins. And this is pirate diploma. If the group gets the highest coins in groups, yeah, again not individually but in groups, then they will get a diploma. Okay, I know it seems something useless, right? I mean, you guys also get that badges, which is very useless, yeah, I know, but still, it motivates them to do something. Okay, some students are even doing this. They put it in their table. They tape them all the badges, so because she's so proud of it. Okay, and that's a good thing. That's a motivation right there. Okay, and this is you might want to write it down. Badge.design is a website that you can use to make your own badge. Yeah, badge.design. Okay, and any questions about badges maybe before we go? Yes. Just one question, yeah, because I still have one more part.
Oke, terima kasih Mr. Bagas. Pertanyaan saya seperti ini, kebetulan saya PE teacher ya. Dari awal tentang gamification ini mungkin kalau dari saya sendiri sebagai PE teacher itu berusaha untuk menarik dalam posisi kalau saya mengajar PE di lapangan seperti itu di field. Kira-kira dari Mr. Bagas sendiri punya masukan atau saran kayak gitu dalam mengajar PE, karena menurut saya dari PE, game-game yang biasa saya lakukan memang game cabang olahraga. Kalau anak-anak lower level biasanya itu kayak game terkait dengan teknik dasar, fundamental gerak anak-anak seperti itu. Tapi kalau misalnya diintegrasikan dengan gamification, mungkin dari Mr. Bagas punya saran dan masukan. Terima kasih.
I have one. You can make it as if the students are in a competitions, in a league or in an Olympic, for example. So we can present them as if they are the athletes from different countries. Then they learn certain lessons, and from there they really do it in front of the judge, which is you as a teacher. And then in the end of the lesson, they get some kind of a medallion, for example, medals, yeah, gold medals, bronze medals, and so on like that. We can try it like that. We can play as if they are really in a Olympic. Okay. Just one more. Yeah, bear with me. I know it's time for eating. Ya, harusnya ya. Okay, so we're done. One more. The last one is retry button. Retry button is a very powerful tool in games that makes them addicted to it. Basically, if you're dead, you can retry. But in the class, they cannot. If you get 60, that's it. If you're done with the practice and some of them are wrong, that's it. Teachers are going to just explain it. However, I believe that when we're doing practice and some numbers are still wrong, we should give them a chance to fix it. Of course, with some feedback. We tell them what's wrong, we'll tell them how to do it correctly, and then redo it. Okay? The implications will be some students are going to go much faster than the others. And that is okay. In games, some people finish the game faster than the others, and that's okay. In the class, we should also do the same. So, even though some students are still slow, we give them time. Of course, we're talking about freedom in here, and the freedom should be limited. Yeah, maybe we can give them 3 days to complete one level. So every time they are still wrong, they can retry it in those 3 days. Okay. So it's related to mastery learning actually. So mastery learning is basically you should not move to the next stage if you are not strong enough in the previous one. Okay. Do you know Khan Academy? It's the founder in a TED Talk says something like this. Imagine you are building a house. You're creating the first floor, and after a week, you check, okay, the foundation is quite sturdy, but probably only 80% sturdy. This part is kind of tilted, but okay, quite straight enough, so I guess that's okay. And then let's build the second floor. Is that how it works? Of course, no. We should make sure that the first floor is strong enough first, and then we move on to the next floor. In martial art activities like taekwondo, we have belts, and people with white belts will never get the higher belt if they don't really complete the training in that belt. Okay? Because if you allow them to just move on, what happens is that they will get crushed in the competition. Yeah? They are not just strong enough to that level. So the same in the retry button, you should not allow students to move on without making sure that the previous one is strong enough first. Okay? Okay, a lot of activities, but don't have time, so later when you get the presentations, hopefully you can just try it, yeah? So that's the end, and this is my YouTube channel. Hopefully you can like, subscribe, and comment it. But what I want to point out is that this particular playlist is talking about the same thing, gamification. So you can go there and watch it again to understand more about gamifications. Okay, thank you very much.